Nearly 100 people paint this scene in watercolor. How different can they be? Which ones do you like and why? Pop it down in the comments. Hello, I'm Tim Wilmot, watercolor painter and tutor. I organise regular online watercolor workshops, and this is a compilation of paintings from my October workshop. Every month, watercolor enthusiasts from all over the world join me for approximately a couple of hours paint-along experience where I do a step-by-step demo and try and answer your questions along the way. Last month, we painted this scene here. This is Chateau de Gerson in southwest France. Believe it or not, that's all that remains of the old chateau. But quite a nice scene from a watercolor point of view, that dark shape silhouetted against the brighter sky. On a sort of little bit of a hill there, and just to the left, there are some, you probably can't see, but there are some vineyards going down to the left. A heap of old vines here, the old stumps of vines there, piled up. Over on the right-hand side, there's an old trailer. On the demo, I went through things I might actually try and remove, and I removed this. I think it's like a small fruit tree. I removed that. Didn't bother having that in the scene. And then bottom left-hand corner, we've got this grassy bank, partly in the shade being created by this overhanging tree over in the top left-hand corner. And these spikes of dried grass flower heads there piercing and going across that shadowy area. And then a quite nice pattern of these shadows going down into that bottom right-hand corner. So hopefully a little bit of something for everyone, and quite easy from a point of view, no figures, no cars, really no perspective to deal with. A nice rural scene in sunny southwest France. So you don't have to paint in my style for these workshops. It's really interesting to see everyone's take on the same scene. And these workshops, they're open to painters of all levels, beginners and advanced. Everyone's welcome. So I'm going to take you through the attendee paintings one by one and give a short critique on each one. Please, what I say is just my own opinion. Of course, with art, you show a painting in front of two people, you're going to get two different bits of feedback. That's art for you. What I'm looking for in each painting is the composition, drawing skills, watercolor technique, sticking to the brief, etc. Also, the images that you see, they're photos taken by the individuals themselves, and everyone's got different qualities of camera or mobiles to take these photos, different sizes, different resolutions. So please be aware of that as we go through. Some might be slightly out of focus or a little bit too small, but we get the general idea. So if you want to take part in future events, pop over to crowdcast.io/@Tim Wilmot. That's the at, like the email symbol, at Tim Wilmot, TIMWILMOT. You'll see all the previous workshops and the new ones coming up. Love to see you on them. So I'm going to take you through these paintings one by one. I'll first of all show you my effort, and then we'll go on to the attendee paintings one by one. Here's mine then. As I said, I removed that tree that was sort of there. I just thought it obscured the view, was in the wrong place. You will see some of the other attendees actually slip it in there and over on the right-hand side. But in my opinion, it just didn't really do anything for me. Quite pleased with the scene. I think I got the values right, the shape of the ruins right, the cascading hillside coming down, the sense of those vines, the rows of vines coming down on the left-hand side there, light coming from the left, then in the foreground here, that sort of soft, dappled shade being created by the overhanging tree, trying to get a sense of the foliage shapes and the different different shades of green as well in that top left corner. And then rather cheekily using a little bit of gouache, sometimes mixed with a bit of yellow ochre to give you that sort of light yellowish, dried, grassy stems and flower heads in that foreground. And let's zoom into it, my trailer on the right hand side with a little bit of light grass, bit of tussock of grass just in front of it. So that's my effort. Let's go on to the attendee paintings then. Anna, just zoom back out a bit. Yeah, really nice composition. You've got the shape of the chateau nicely there, lovely sky, good shadows. I think with the shadows, maybe they could be just a little bit darker. The lighter bits could be just a little bit darker to give you a bit more contrast with the lighter field. I should have said that the field was, it was midsummer and it's really dry grass. So it's got a sort of brownish, tannish look to it. Yeah, very, very nice indeed. Well done, Anna. Next one, Barb. Ooh, lovely golden feel to the field in the middle. Maybe with the pile of logs, that could be just maybe a little bit of a soft edge just to sort of connect it a bit more. It looks like it's floating a little bit. But lovely chateau, great sky, graded wash, darker. Should have said with the light coming from the left, we've got generally a darker sky on the right and light on the left. Nice foliage there. Good brush marks for the lighter blades of grass. Excellent, well done, Barb. And Becky. Right, gone for a slightly different foliage shape there in the top left. Yeah, works for me. Maybe the chateau could be just a little bit darker at the top there, just to give it a bit more of a contrast with the sky. And perhaps the field could be just a little bit lighter. Again, like Barb's, try and get a softer edge just to try and connect the pile of logs with the ground. Very nice blades of grass here in the flower heads, particularly the bottom left-hand corner. Yep, lovely, and nice, nice trailer as well. Brenda. Should say with some of these photos, some of them will appear a little bit lighter than others, and I haven't edited any of these photos. I'm just showing you as I get them. So some depending on the lighting conditions will be a little bit lighter than others. Right. Perhaps the chateau is, yeah, with that chateau, nice shape to it, but I would try and avoid that really dark edge to it. But on the whole, it's quite nice. Perhaps we could have been a little bit darker with the vineyards coming down from the chateau ruins down to the left-hand side. Good shadows in the bottom left corner. Try and get a softer edge as well with the edge of the shadow, just to so it's got a nicer transition with the lighter grass. Well done, Brenda. Bronwyn. Bronwyn, you've gone for a slightly sort of softer, lighter feel to this one. Works well. Try and avoid the chateaus look really good, but they're right in the middle. Maybe if they were moved just slightly to the right, I think that would look a little bit better from a composition point of view. Lovely foliage, top left corner. Nice effect of the dappled shade in the bottom left as well. Excellent, and different take on the sky. You've got a few clouds in there. That works all right. Bruno. Just zoom in a bit more. It's quite a cool one, this one. As regards the grass, you've gone for a cooler look. Nice shape to the chateau, nice placement. I quite like your logs where you've got sort of like an opaquish grey that you've painted on top of those. That's quite effective for maybe some of the lighter logs in there. Nice connection of the top left corner foliage coming down in. Perhaps we could have gone a bit darker with the shadows in the bottom left-hand corner just to get that contrast with the lighter field. Well done, Bruno. Buck. Oh, this is really nice. I like the way that the background chateau, you've got some warms and cools in there. It's been you've taken a bit of time and patience over the chateau and a little bit of the stonework. Let's just zoom into that bit of the stonework, and also the texture of the vineyards coming down. There's little brush marks, there's little darker brush marks, just indicating the bottom of the rows of the vines or the gaps between the rows. That works really well. Nice bit of blue in that. Nice bit of cool blue in the shadow of that of those logs. Yeah, very, very nice, but beautiful. Nice, bold, bright watercolor. Christy, very golden. I do like these shadows here. Maybe we haven't got the contrast of the darker shadows with the lighter field, but the texture you've got there in that grass. Let me just lift it up a little bit. Excellent, Christy. Very, very nice indeed. And also some of the lighter logs in that log pile, the old vineyard there. Not so sure about underneath the trailer there. Maybe it could be a little bit more solid rather than those lighter lines. Very, very nice. Nice, bold, bright. Certainly got the feeling of the bright sunshine with this one. Well done, Christy. And Connie. Yeah, good composition. Maybe we've gone, I think when you paint, if you had maybe a little bit more water with your pigment, we've got the appearance of some sort of dry, again on the bottom left corner, this dry brush marks. I think if you had, maybe like you did the sky, if you used a little bit more paint on your brush, I think for those shadows that will work better. A very, very nice foliage shapes of that tree in the top left-hand corner, Connie. Very, very nice. Yeah, well done. Dan. Oh, now see Dan's included that small little fruit tree, and I think that works quite well. It's not obscuring anything. It's a nice sort of filler in between the chateau and the trailer. Maybe we're losing the definition of the trailer a little bit. Perhaps there's a tiny bit too much of the lighter areas underneath that trailer. Perhaps that could be a bit more solid, a bit darker, just to create more of a trailer type shape. But yeah, nice style. I do like the shadows as well. Very lively, warms and cools. Yeah, well done, Dan. Well done for including that tree. Okay, and Daniel. Nice composition. Now, we could go a little bit darker with the log pile and the shadow in the bottom left-hand corner, and also the tree in the top left here. I would say try and have the foliage something like that, rather than that gap, that sort of bit of sky above it. It looks like it's a sort of layered horizontal branch coming out. It would give the appearance more of the shadow and the shade in the bottom left corner if it was touching the top, going over the top of the paper. Very nice chateau, though. Lovely ruins. Yep, good shape to them. Well done, and nice sky. Dave. Well, nice golden feel to the scene. Nice and dark with the top of the ruins of the chateau. Could be a little bit lighter with the field, and also with the shadow, try and get some get a few more softer edges in there. We've got too many hard edges, I think, to give the appearance of the dappled shade. And also with the using the white paint, try and be a little bit more random. It looks just a little bit too perfect, if you like. But I do like your brush marks. Very, very good. And nice foliage in the top left-hand corner, Dave. Well done. Edward. Edward's gone for more of an atmospheric sky. Works well. Yeah, nice look to the sky and a little bit of light cloud, just highlighting the right-hand pillar of the ruins there. Just be careful of the white paint on there. Just a little bit too much of the white paint. Tends to go sort of a bit too opaque and dirty. And with the shadow in the bottom left corner, just a few more, just too many hard edges, I think, Edward. Nice. I do like that foliage in the top left-hand corner. Everyone did really well with the foliage in the top left corner. Nice variation of different styles and leaf types as well. Let's just zoom into Eileen's. If I can go in a little bit more, yes I can. All right, nice and bright. With the foliage in the top left-hand corner, try and make it a bit more solid, Eileen, in the very top left corner, so that it gives more of a feeling of the denseness of the canopy up there. With the shadows, that little area there looks like it's a little bit too bright. I think on the whole, most of the shadow area is very good. Nice, soft edges to the darker areas, giving that sort of dappled shade look. And also try and continue the shadow over the edge of the paper as well, so we avoid that little light area, this little sort of subtle light area around the side. Well done, Eileen. Nice lots of warms and cools in that chateau as well. Well done. Ian. Now, this is quite light. I do like the chateau. It looks like you've amended it a little bit, and I think it works really well. It's very distinctive. That chateau is fantastic. Elsewhere, perhaps we could have had a little bit more foliage in the top left-hand corner rather than just those couple of strands sort of forking into the scene. And the pile of logs here looks like it's floating. It needs to be cemented it needs to be connected to the ground a bit more. So maybe a little bit of a shadow perhaps, or something like that. And the shadows can be a bit darker in the bottom left-hand corner. Also the trailer, just try and get it, maybe just a feeling of some wheels in there. Some darker wheels, maybe something like that. That could be just a little bit darker in there, just to give the feeling of those wheels, and maybe just a little bit more detail in place as well. But that chateau, perfect, nice and transparent, not overworked, very fresh. Well done. And Jean, well, let's just zoom in to this one. Well, very colourful, very colourful. You've got a lovely warm glow to the field, nice little lighter areas highlighted as well. Could be stones, or maybe in the distance there, that could be the top of a shed, the roof of a small shed up there, which you might find in the vineyard perhaps. Let me just zoom back out. Again, just be careful with the chateau being right there in the middle. Maybe just consider moving it just a little bit to the right. Foliage, very nice foliage, top left corner. Maybe it could be a bit denser, a bit more of it. You've done it really well, but I'd like just a little bit more of it. Good log pile, and the shadows, yeah, very nice indeed. You've got a mixture of many softer edges. Very nice. Yep, a very warm painting. And Joseph. Right, well, that's a soft one. You've got more of a flatter feeling to the scene. Looks a little bit more serene and peaceful, rather than that slight rise going from the foreground up to the base of the ruins. Ruins could be a bit darker, I think, Joseph. And just be careful, a little bit of overworking of the shadows here. But you've got the right value. I do like your style. And the trailer could be just a little bit, less tall. Maybe the sides could be just a little bit shorter. Maybe make that log pile a bit bigger as well. I love that brush mark there. Very nice. It could be a distant tree or something like that. Yeah, it's got a nice soft feeling to it. Well done, Joseph. And Kazim, just zoom back out a little bit. I love the brush marks, the grass. You've put in quite a lot of these very fine lines, very effective. Nice photo top left corner. With the Chateau, perhaps that could be a tiny bit darker, and it looks a little bit like a sort of light green. I think it would work better, like the base of the ruins. That's sort of more of a brownish, light blue, something like that, mixed with some burnt sienna, just to give you that sort of greyish stone feeling to it. Nice trailer on the right-hand side, but yeah, very nice grasses, very effective. Lillian. Well, that's a different style of the ruins. Again, it's just in the middle. I think, as in we've got that hill sort of perfectly in the middle like that. If we had the hill, let's get rid of that drawing. If we had the hill, see if I can draw this right. So going up like that and then down to the right, and then the ruins there. I think that would work just a little bit better from a composition point of view. What do you think? And the foliage top left corner, more of it. All right, bring it out, try and connect it. Also have some cascading leaves, branches touching or connecting with the distant hill, the side of the hill. Very lively, let's just zoom in, very lively bottom left-hand corner there. With your white paint, try maybe just add a tiny little bit of water to it, just to give you more of, make it easier to apply that lighter line to the paper rather than that dry brush mark. Make it look a little bit more like a very narrow blade of grass. Very nice trailer, soft, transition into the ground, excellent. Yeah, nice atmosphere. Well done, Lillian, thank you. And Lynn. Let's get this position right. Ooh, nice and golden feel, maybe just a little bit too dark, could be a bit lighter. With the log pile, yes, looks good, but try and make it a little bit more solid, a little bit darker, and connect it to the ground. Lovely trailer, nice ruins. Too many hard edges on the shadows. Try and get in some softer edges. So pre-wetting the paper or just teasing out with a wet brush, just tease out some of those edges there just to introduce a bit of a softer edge. But nice connection of these lines with the shadow and the log pile. Excellent, well done. No, that was Lynn. Lynn without an E and Lynn with an E. Yeah, the way that you've painted the shadows in the bottom left-hand corner, it really makes the viewer look as if they're lower in the scene and they're looking up, and it's giving the appearance of the chateau being a little bit more majestic and looking down on you, and the height of the chateau as well. Very nice composition. Lovely leaves in the top left-hand corner. Again, like Lillian, maybe just a bit more water with your brush on some of these blades of grass, like that mark there. I think some of these more narrow marks, they just a little bit more effective, I think. Thanks very much, Lynn. Beautiful scene though, lovely ruins, a nice sky as well. I like those lines that you've got, like there, because we've got lines here, generally. One's sort of a mirror image of the other. Nice pattern to it. Mary Pat, beautiful sky. I love that patch of blue in the top right corner with the clouds around it. Very nice. Chateau, yeah, looking good. the brush marks you've used. It definitely gives the feeling of the stonework. Not so sure about the shadows in the bottom left-hand corner here. Maybe there's too many hard edges around the lighter areas. I think in the extreme bottom left-hand corner, this is more effective, Mary Pat, but just over here, maybe the paper was a bit too dry and you don't have those soft edges. Lovely log pile though, very nice. And again, foliage in the top left corner, very nice as well. But that sky is fantastic there. My eyes keep looking at that blue patch there and these sort of subtle little bits of white paper showing through as well, getting a little bit of aliveness, spontaneity to it. Right, Mike, very golden view here. Mike, perhaps it could be just a little bit lighter in the field, just to create more of an impact of the bright sunlight. But you've placed that chateau really well. Nice attention to detail with some of the stonework, beautiful. You've got the tree in there on the right hand side, sort of framing that side. That's a nice placement of that tree, actually, just sort of putting it maybe a little bit further than that trailer. Log pile, very good. Definitely feels like it's connected to the ground. And then the shadows in the bottom left-hand corner. You've gone for a slightly different pattern. I like all the colours that you've got in there. Browns, greens, blues. Yeah, and then like another darker patch there. Nice. Thanks, Mike. And Nydia. Now, I think your photo might be a little bit dark on the right-hand side. I bet your painting in the flesh is a lot lighter than this. Very nice placement, perfect placement of those shadows, just slightly right to the center, and nice foliage coming down from the top left-hand corner. Very good mixture of soft edges for that shadow. Not overly, you haven't overdone the lighter blades of grass either. And definitely the feeling of a little bit of a dip there before it rises up to the trailer. Maybe the sky could be just a little bit bluer, just to create the impression of a brighter day, I think. Just a tiny bit. Pablo. Right, now there's Chateau again. It's in the middle. Maybe it would look better just slightly to the right. And also trying to push the appearance of the Chateau back further. Maybe the brown could be cooled down a little bit with a touch of blue paint, a cobalt blue or an ultramarine blue. Shadow in the bottom left-hand corner could be darker. And then with the foliage in the top left corner, go a bit denser. You've got the idea. Nice leaves there. But just try and make some of the leaves a bit bigger, connect them. It looks too perfect at the moment. Try and go a little bit more random with the leaves and the branch directions. But a really nice watercolor, like that sky as well. You've really used lots of different watercolor techniques in this one. A few little blooms happening in the sky as well. There on the right-hand side. Oh, you can't see it too well, probably, those of you watching, but that bit of darkness on that right-hand side gives a nice sort of volume. Oh, there we are. Gives a nice sort of volume to that cloud. Lovely sky. Ravi. Yes, very bright day. Lovely. Maybe with a shadow, Ravi, too many hard edges here. We need to soften them up a bit, or have gone in with those darks when the whole area was a little bit damper. Then we get those softer edges to give you more appearance of the dappled shade. Very nice foliage, top left corner. I'd like to see a bit more of it though, but it is so nice. Maybe almost double that. Double the area of that top left-hand foliage, and have some of the branches connecting with the ground. Yeah, well done, Ravi. Thank you. A nice sky as well. Nice graded wash. Dark blue on the right-hand side there. And Sally. Yeah, nice sky. Perfect colour value for the Chateau. Maybe it could be a bit darker at the top there, Sally, just to get more of an impact with the sky. Good connection of the log pile to the ground. Again, that foliage in the top left-hand corner. Maybe could be a bit more of it and have a few leaves come extending out just a little bit further. Lovely trailer. And those shadows are very nice. Let's just go into those. Shadows are very nice. Hopefully you can see here what I mean about the soft edges. So I think that's got a nice combination of hard and soft edges, and the blades of grass. Well, perhaps with the grass we could be a little bit lighter, a bit more of the white paint, or some white paint mixed with yellow ochre, giving that sort of golden, lighter, grassy feel. Well done, Sally. And Sandy, let me just zoom into that one. Yes, so I've mentioned about a few of the attendees, a few of you having the Chateau right in the middle. Now, Sanders is just a little bit to the left. I think that is actually quite effective. Maybe with the Chateau being to the left, perhaps the trailer could have been a bit more to the right, Sally. Maybe in that kind of area there, so that we've got that sort of triangle there, not sort of equilateral triangle, just a bit more of a natural balance to it. Fantastic shadow though in the bottom left hand corner. That is very, very nice. All those soft edges, just giving a feeling of the contour of the ground and that dappled sunlight coming through, dappled shade coming through. Beautiful trees in the top left corner, perhaps could be a little bit more of them. Nice sky as well. Well done, just a slightly different take on the placement of the Chateau. Sarrow, again, it looks like we're deep down in this little sort of gully and we're looking up at the Chateau. We've definitely got that majestic feel about it. Fantastic foliage in the top left-hand corner. Lovely brush marks, giving you the feeling of those leaves and different shades of green as well, and connecting. Seeing what I mean about connecting. We're just sort of touching there. The back skyline, excellent. Perhaps with these shadows, too many hard edges in there, Sarah. You've got over on the left-hand side, that area there, brilliant, but just too many lighter areas there. Or if you were to soften those edges, like here, that there is good. But here, there's just a little bit too bright. It stands out just a bit too much. But very nice painting. Well done, Sarah. And Stefano. Oh, no, you've really... Now, that Chateau is right in the middle, but it's actually quite big, or bigger. And I like the fact that we can see the pencil marks as well. You've gone with a very weak wash, not gone too dark with the Chateau. That actually works very well. And then over on the left-hand side, you've gone a little bit different with the tree over there, a bit more bushy, like a shrub, and that warm red on the top and the cooler green below. Nice take on the shadow in the bottom left-hand corner. Yeah, excellent watercolor. And you've got the lie of the land sort of going like that, rather than it was going sort of like that really in reality. But I think yours works. Fantastic. Well done. And Teresa. Yeah, perfect place for that Chateau, just right of centre, connecting the top left-hand foliage, connecting with the ground. Nice curvature to those twigs and branches as well. Sense of movement. And talking about movement, a bit of movement in the bottom left-hand corner. I like all these brush marks, very lively, almost like a coat going over the scene. These hairs and these little brush marks that you've done there, and also continuing on just below the Chateau, those very soft lines, brush marks indicating. Maybe these rows of vines going up, meeting the Chateau, connecting that log pile, soft transition, bottom log pile, red, warm, very, very nice. Yeah, I think excellent brush marks for that one, Teresa. Really, really nice. Maybe the trailer, the side's a bit too high, but other than that, brilliant. Very, very nice. Tony. This has got more of a sort of English-like feel to it, that sort of sky, that steely grey sky. Very nice sky. And you've made the Chateau ruins really stand out there. Excellent. Well done. The log pile, very nice. Could be connected a little bit more to the ground though. And excellent shadow in the bottom left-hand corner. You've got the dimension of your paper a little bit wider. I think this has been very expertly painted. Nice foliage in the top left-hand corner. A very loose style to it. I like the way that you've laid down like an underlying wash below or behind the chateau, and we've got a little bit of that bleeding going out into the sky. I think that's very effective. Well, not making the chateau stand out so much by a harsh bit of contrast between the dark of the chateau and the light of the sky. Victor's making more of a play on the chateau. Victor's included the tree, works really well. Tree's connected to trying to connect these things, connected there on the left-hand side. Maybe the tree leaves of this smaller tree could be just a little bit thicker paint, so we're not so transparent, Victor, when we go over the chateau, but lovely building there. Nice log pile as well. I like the brush marks of the foliage. Could be a little bit denser perhaps in that top portion to give it more of a feeling of the shade. Not so sure about the shadows. It looks too grey, and these generally the shape of your brush marks, these sort of darker grey marks, I think it would look better with that sort of softer dappled shade to it. So we've got patches of light and dark with soft edges. But a nice take on the scene. And you really, I think probably you get the price for the largest chateau in the scene. Excellent. And you're making more of a feature of that chateau, bringing it closer to the viewer. And the final one is William. Nicely framed as well, mounted. Also always makes a difference, doesn't it, when you add in a white border around a picture or a mount like that. Love the texture of the grass in there. Very nice, William. And the texture of the log pile as well. Beautiful. Look at those little brush marks there. The blades of grass, the lighter grass showing up against the darker background. Very nice. Sky, yes, you've gone with a sort of darker sky. I think it would work better with a bluer sky, but you've got a nice contrast, and you've gone with a softer edge of the chateau, the top of the chateau with the baron. Just be careful of tiny bit of overworking of the shadow below the shadow below the chateau walls there. Yeah, very lively. I like the brush marks as well. The golds, the cools in that grass, excellent. Yes, a really nice feeling of that grass and nice touch with the birds in the sky. Well, thanks very much, all of you that contributed to that the October workshop, the Chateau de Gerson in southwest France. Lovely spot down there in southwest France on a sunny day. Hopefully you enjoyed and picked up something. Those of you that didn't take part and just watching this picked up maybe just a few snippets of advice or tips on how you might approach this scene. If you want to take part in any of my workshops, then check out either my website, timwilmotartist.com, or you can go directly to my events page, which will be crowdcast.io/the @ symbol, like in emails, and then Tim Wilmot, TimWilmot. Thanks for watching, and catch up with you soon.